Oh, thank you. I will try to talk loud because I know the microphone keeps going down, but I am Lisa Jones. I am the founder of Inspire Consulting. Today I'm going to talk to you about proposal management and compliance. Inspire Consulting is a management consulting firm. We focused on helping companies to grow and scale using strategy and implementation techniques. We also use VisibleThread with our companies that we work with. We handle, through our BIDWORTHE platform, proposal management, capture management, and business development. One of the key things that we noticed over the last few years is that we needed to increase the amount of proposal efficiency within different companies to help our clients win more bids. So we started embarking on trying to figure out what can we use to help them besides the traditional. We all know the Excel spreadsheets. We can teach you Shipley inside and out, but if you're still not compliant, it wasn't working. So we started looking at VisibleThread, started talking to them, and started getting our clients to purchase the software to help them. And we wanted to increase their overall PWIN. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about today is how many of you sitting in this room have ever woke up after a proposal and go, oh my, oh, you start screaming, okay? A lot of you still didn't raise your hands. So who has had those proposal nightmares in the middle of the night? Okay, and then here's my favorite. We're boxing, we're taping, and next thing you know, an exec walks in and says, stop! And I'm going, what just happened? And they go, we forgot something. Or someone didn't read section G, A, B, C, D, E, F, and somebody goes, oh my God, I didn't put this in the pricing. And I remember one day I turned to someone and said, you told me you didn't want me to check your pricing. And they said, why? I don't want you looking at my numbers. And I said, well, my team needs to look at them to make sure you're compliant. So we go through all of these things, and we've all woke up. And let me tell you, it's nothing like strategizing in the middle of the night, and this has truly happened. Sending one person in a car that way, sending one in a car this way, and sending somebody on a plane, and going, whoever gets there first to get this in by this time, that's what it's going to take. And no lie, I had someone one year drive in a fire truck. We won't tell anybody. I was like, I don't want to know, I don't want to know. So in order to increase your resource efficiency and utilization, you have to start utilizing tools to ensure compliance. Because as Jessica mentioned, you can have all of these resources and you can set your resources up, but they are not efficient at doing their job or writing. Your proposal still may not be compliant. And if they do not hit the key words, you're at risk of not being compliant. So we want to increase that efficiency. We also want to make sure that you prepare proposals correctly. You know, how do you get them to align to the RFP? How many of you actually today make sure that you meet every single RFP requirement, even with the compliance matrix? Okay, so how do you do that? Okay.
That's the basic as it gets.
As basic as it gets. How do you, over here, how do you mark up your proposal for compliance? How about you? You're just staring at me. Why not? Yeah, you.
So we use a number of teams and team members, and we use Excel spreadsheets, and we compare, and we sit down and say line by line, do you have this and what's missing? So sometimes we have interns, and we have those interns say, what do you see that's missing? Are we missing anything? And that's their only job. So, but that's a nightmare in itself.
That's a nightmare, right? And then who uses my favorite? I must have every Sharpie Staples owns and highlighter. Who does that? Colors and numbers for everything. One day someone said, what are you doing? I said, I have to make sure I don't miss anything. And I use Excel, I have the Sharpies, but how long does that take everyone? A lot of time. So that's one of the things I like about using VT Docs, and I love the web analytics tool as well because I like to ghost competition. I want to see what's on your website. And a lot of times when you turn in proposals, we were having this discussion this morning. I tell people, have you checked your website? Are you compliant on your website? The government asks you questions about what do you supply? You know how many times I go in and do an assessment for companies and you still have not updated your website? And that's the first thing the government checks. So it's little things like that that we want to build the efficiencies in, help you better utilize your resources. VT Docs helps you shred the proposal in less time. You want to be able to, within that 10 seconds, you load it up, it's already built your compliance matrix, which is excellent. So you want to do that. It also increases your probability to win. Okay? You want to make sure with compliance that you are efficiently and effectively increasing your PWIN by hitting all the key targets. And a lot of you have insights from your customers, but sometimes it never makes it into the proposal. You can put together all your prep work you want, but you never go back and make sure it's there, not even in your executive summary. And this tool can help you. We'll talk a little bit about that. But you want to take advantage of the keywords and dictionaries in the pre-configured setup. One of the things that, during Jessica, every presentation, everyone was talking about the customized dictionaries. What you want to do, take the 45 minutes to an hour, regardless of your customer, agency, use that feature. Because what you will find is when you customize the dictionaries, you will increase your PWIN and your compliance by simply doing just that one action. Because you'll hit all your nouns, keywords, or anything specific to that agency. That's going to be very important for you. So the key goal here, compliant proposals. So a compliance matrix, we touched on it a little bit earlier. We've all done it. We use Excel. Sometimes we have to. We still have to put it in a Word document. I'm not saying don't do that. What I'm saying is use VT Docs. Let it create your Excel compliance matrix for you. It automatically downloads to your computer. It's that simple. You don't have to try to figure it out. You click it, auto downloads. And what I love about it is, I know I should be using this pointer. See if I can get it to work here. See how I did this with a paragraph? It'll also do a sentence, okay? So you want to be able to do it so that it gives you keywords, nouns, action verbs, and let it scan your entire document. The other nice thing about building a compliance matrix and using this tool is that you can scan one or all of the documents. I would recommend that 2 ways you do it. Put them all in at one time. My way I like doing it is putting them in as separate documents and do one that's all together. And the reason I do that is because later when I'm doing discovery or readability or comparison, I want to be able to pull out those key nouns, action words, or my customized dictionary. I want to make sure that I'm 100% compliant and I can check it against other things that I've set up for that agency or actionable things that we know we have to target for a customer. Because what you don't want to do is when your customer says, we want you to win, but you got to make sure you touch on A through Z, and you forget to do it. And it happens to so many people. Another thing that usually happens to clients when we go in and we do a lot of assessments, clients call us and say, we lost and we want to know why. And then I start checking everything. I run through the tool. We go manually through and read everything. And then I start comparing it and going, well, these resumes never mentioned cybersecurity. They didn't have degrees. I said, your executive summary never touched on these 6 elements or this chart the government wanted. Your technical bid, you left out these key elements. Your pricing, you failed to edit your template to show you these set of things or specific terms or fees. Fees are always left out, and it can cause you to lose. So you want to be able to set up your dictionary and compare all of these documents at the same time, okay? This will save you a lot of time. It improves compliance, reduces risk, and will also increase your PWIN. Discovery. This tool is one thing you don't want to never be without if you're using VT Docs. When you're using Discovery, it actually takes the natural language from the proposal and it allows you to use the themes or use your customized dictionary and go through and actually look to see if you're compliant across the different docs. The other things is it captures the nouns by the categories. So if there's program management, say technology, cybersecurity, whatever it is, it can capture the nouns within the categories that you set up. I think I may have captured, oops, well, that wasn't good. It actually captures the nouns and everything on your category over here when it's all set up. You want to locate any risky language and terms. This goes back to doing your review of the proposal when people do not look at sections A through G, for example. You don't capture the specific terms or any risky language that the government may have put in there. And you forget to go check these things. This will help you do that. Your contracts people, they need a way to look at the DFAR and FAR clauses. Because how many of you are seeing more proposal now where it asks you to validate your DFAR and your FAR clauses, and you make statements? She's got her hand up. I see one over there. So if you're not encountering that, you need to read your proposals very carefully because it's coming up more and more, and some of them have letters. How many have lost recently that you did not put a FAR letter in your proposal? Has anybody encountered that yet? I had a client recently that they didn't read Section G. Section G stated, you have to give us a letter that states X, Y, and Z with this chart. They left it out. So when we were reviewing the proposal to check why they lost, I said, well, this is why your bid got thrown out. You forgot this letter. They never read it. Okay? So utilize this tool to read all your sections. Also, it gives you a at-a-glance view of your RFP. What better way to do it? And that way it minimizes the amount of reading you have to do, but it's at a glance. So this discovery feature is really, really good. It can also help you determine bid, no bid. So right now, how do you go about doing a bid, no bid? Who wants to give me an answer?
Meeting with the executives and they make their final decision.
What tools do you give them? What do you give them to make that?
Most of the time, our capture manager give them an assessment based on their meetings with the customer.
Okay. What is something that you can give them if you are using VT Docs or using their Discovery? Who in here is a VT user right now that can tell me what can you give them from using the tool to help better make that decision?
You can run the compliance matrix against the RFP, look and see what the requirements are against our company capabilities to decide whether it's a good fit.
Yes. Go ahead.
You can determine the keywords, the frequency of keywords, and determine if it's a bid or no bid.
There you go. So I just wanted to show you. Go ahead.
You use Discovery to pick out certain terms, such as data rights, union capability, things like that. If all those are, I don't want to do that, then you might want to think about no bidding it, because if it's a requirement, you're going to have to go against your company policies. So that's one thing that Discovery will do right off the bat.
Exactly. Another thing that I use it for is the actual requirements if there are set-aside requirements or a subcontracting plan. Because one of the things it may say, you don't have to submit a subcontracting plan, but there's always a but in there, and people forget the word but or and you don't submit a subcontracting plan. Or you're then not allowed to have any teammates. So that's another thing you can use it for. So these are all good reasons why, or to use the tool, but also to give your executives or your management team some evidence or something solid to show them why you either bid or no bid. Okay? Because sometimes we just go off, or somebody told me a while back, it's based on my gut. I said, gut of what? I was going, I'm sitting there going, gut. I mean, he's pounding his gut, and I'm going, gut of what? What did you gut? And he goes, are you not understanding me? And I'm going, I understand you completely, but you're giving away a multi-million-dollar opportunity that you're perfect for, but you can't give me a real reason why not to bid. And I just gave you 12 reasons why you should bid. And I gave you the teaming partners. Because when we come in and we do capture for companies, we're finding you teaming partners. We're lining everything up. But then if you tell me your gut says don't do it, I can't go back to the owner of the company and say, well, he said his gut. And they're laughing, you just sit there and you wonder. So this is a good reason to start using your discovery if you haven't already done so. Watch my time here. Compliance gap analysis. It is very important that you do an analysis across your proposal. We were just talking about how looking across all of your documents, like it shows here, and determining where everything falls using the actual nouns or your terms that you've set up. You want to be able to easily identify responsibilities. You want to determine what these resources will be doing, because it takes a long time. So if I need to pull an engineer off the contract for 5 to 6 weeks and drive a program manager crazy, I better have had a good reason why I need that engineer, and why you're going to tell your executives you're going to lose some on-time delivery for your client. Okay, so it's very important to take a look at your gaps. And then you want to perform a compliance check. Use the discovery tool. See what's missing. See where you have not put in key things that they're asking for. Okay? And this also helps you save some time, compliance, reduces risk, and increase your PWIN. That's what we're after here. You want to be able to utilize the tool to really gain efficiencies across all aspects of your company. I have someone that also uses this for contracts and to manage their programs, because a lot of times, who in here has sat down with their program manager lately and asked them why your CPAR rating is low? Has anyone done that? She's slowly raising her hand over here. I saw you raise your hand. How do you measure why your CPAR rating's low in the program?
Well, it's not that it's low, it's just I want it better. So,
Okay.
they're at very good, and I'm trying to say, what can we be at, and I know government doesn't like exceptional, but, just all the things and all our things that we could have done better.
Okay.
That's how I rate it.
So what if I told you that you could take this tool, run it after your award, run it again, and find out every report and everything you're supposed to do to be compliant to get that exceptional? Because my goal always is to walk into an IPR with the government, and especially when they say, oh, you weren't doing this, you weren't doing this, and I can go say to my program manager, can you give me all the reports for this? To my contracts person, can you show me how you met all these? And to my pricing cost people, say, how did we make sure we met fees, costs, and we give money back? Government loves money back. Why not rerun the tool, use everything you have to do that? Isn't that a great idea? So whoever has the program right now, who's going to go run it and go to your program manager to do a check-in? Who's bold enough to do it?
I'm doing it. I got promoted to PMO director because I was the proposal director, and I was using the tool for actually the award, and I was, able to help run programs more efficiently. So now the director.
Give her a hand. See, I love stories like that because it shows you utilizing tools. I see so many companies buy tools but never use them. You know how much money goes flying out the door? And it's nothing like doing an overall corporate assessment when I'm doing strategy for companies, and I show them how much money went out the door. See, if you want to get promotions like she did or show your win rates go up, start utilizing the tool to do just that. So that kind of helps everyone. So I like to give people ideas and things you can do with tools as well.
Can you just explain real quick? That's the discover, I don't use it enough. That's the discover, and then what are the columns across there? It's discover of your proposal documents, and then what are all the columns?
So the columns are the different things within the documents, all the documents I loaded. Then it actually gives you the different sentences out of each section. And then over here, I don't know if you can read this, it gives everything from capture, proposal management, compliance, everything that, all 9 volumes of this proposal. These are the volumes.
Not
And
sections of the volumes, or okay, it's just whether it got covered in a volume.
yeah, so these X's show where this showed up based on that element in the volume.
So did you create that end part there? Or is it part of
I created this in the gap analysis in the assessment part. So when you're at the top of the tool, you have the different drop-down menus. So I go across the top when I'm there, and then I select which one I want to use. And then it pulls it up. So I like using the sentences when I'm doing it, and I do my analysis. And then I also do readability to make sure I cross-reference. But this pulls it out for you, and then I download it. And then I take it and I go back, because when we're coming in as consultants, I go back and talk to the proposal manager, or depending on what our role is, or I talk to the capture manager. A lot of times this also helps me to discover whether or not a team member is missing. Right before you go to bed, it's something like figuring out you forgot to cover something, and you scramble for a teammate. So you can use that in this way as well.
See, another use, not only you're talking about performance reviews, but every once in a while the government will say, where is the such and such, and you need to tell them, well, that's a change. That's not
Yes.
in the performance work statement or scope of work or whatever. And it sounds like this would be a very helpful tool for doing that.
Yes. Another good thing I use is who builds technology like diagrams or wireframes or different things to put in your proposal. Great. I do these elaborate upfront visuals and put it right in front of the deck. And some clients think I'm crazy, but what my goal is to show, especially when I know it's going to be a lot of competition, I want to show all of the solutions up front. And especially if we're doing proprietary software or something, I use that, but I come in with my gap analysis. Anything that I see, especially with my custom dictionary, or somebody gave me for a WIN theme, I take that and draw these diagrams. I also make sure if I have to do a topology or anything crazy, I use it as well. If I have to build a data center or something that's different, a facility, I use it to make sure I didn't forget something, or to build it out in my specs. So that's another thing you can use it for.